Hi Aquarius, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you for December 2025. I know this reading is a little bit late, but honestly I was holding off on Sagittarius and Aquarius for some reason. I was ready to do it yesterday and it was like, no, I think need to wait another day, and I'm like, I'm already a bit late. But I will say that the most powerful part of December is coming these next few weeks. So this is going to be a very powerful month of transformation. We've had the full moon on December 4th, and then on December 19th, we're going to have both a full new moon. And then if you've been following the Comet 3i Atlas, I encourage you to look that up if you don't know what that is, because it's going to be closest to the Earth on the 19th. So that day is going to be extremely powerful. And then a few days later on the 21st, we're going to have the winter solstice. And so this is going to be an incredible period of deep healing and inner healing, inner work. And in particular, we're being asked to release what is no longer serving us, because we're going into a new year. We're moving into a higher consciousness, and we're going into new ways of being in this age of Aquarius. So this is going to be a powerful year for you. You are a powerful sign. And so what I did before I came on, I picked 2 oracle cards for you. And one of them I picked was the same one I picked for Sagittarius, which was interesting. That came out. But the first card that came out for you from the Return of Spirit was the Power card. And, this is a powerful card. This card rules the 3rd chakra, which is our solar plexus. And our solar plexus chakra is where we experience our own personal power. And so you are being asked to focus on that area and where you hold your power, because Spirit wants you to focus on that. And more than that, it wants you to claim your own personal power right now. And I think you need to question, where have you been kind of going, holding back? And it's like there's no more holding back anymore. Sometimes if there's somebody that's draining our personal power, we need to maybe cut cords, energetic cords with them. But because we can be scared of losing people, and if we know that it's time to let go of certain people, but oftentimes they can hold us back from what we need to do. And so it's time, Aquarius, this month, going into January, that you show people who you are. It's time to claim you, because as the book said actually, is that you're one powerful, incredible soul and came here to do something on this earth. And it's time. And maybe you know it. Maybe I know myself, I've been sort of in a cocoon stage. And then you get the Father of Fire, Passion Ignited. And this particular card is from the Secrets of the Ancestors. And this card talks about this passionate, this strong yang energy. And so it's time for you to grab onto those qualities of a natural born leader. And that's what you're being asked to do right now, to lead. And if there is this yes or no question that you've been kind of going back and forth in your head, the answer is yes. And this is who you came here to be. This is the time for this big vision, this passion that you've had, and it's time to go for it. And so what 2 incredibly powerful cards that I picked out for you for your reading. And so when I saw that I had those 2 cards, I went, you know what? I need to pick. I haven't used this deck in a long time, and it was like, no, you need to pick your Tarot Grand Luxe. If I had to think of a card that really represents royalty, power in my tarot decks, this would be the one. And so to clarify it, I'm going to use the Ehrenberg Tarot, and that was going to be the one that I was going to use originally. But then after I picked out these two cards, I went, no, we'll use those as clarifiers still. But I'm going to use these powerful cards for you because this is going to be a powerful reading. But there's going to be something here that you need to release. And this is what this reading is about. This reading is about, it's time for you to release something. There's something still that you need to release before you step into your power, Aquarius. It could be a person, it could be a thing, it could be emotions, it could be a memory, but it's something that's no longer serving you that you need to release. And then we're going to look at what's coming up from your shadow that needs healing, because when we have to release something, when we're being called to release someone or something, there's always something that is coming up from your shadow that needs healing. Like I said, emotions, memory, but it is what's driving or having the most impact on the situation that you're finding yourself in right now. And then we're going to ask for some guidance from the tarot in relation to the situation, and then I'll provide you with a playlist at the end. Excuse me. All right, clearing my throat. Big reading here coming up for you, Aquarius. Let's ask tarot for one card for what you're being asked to release that's no longer serving you. All right, one card for that. There it is. The Magician in reverse. Interesting card for release. What's coming up from your shadow that needs healing? Well, you got the Four of Cups. So there's some emotions here. And then some advice from the tarot, one card. The Three of Cups. And that was, I'm going to put that sideways. All right, so the Ehrenberg, I'm going to clarify. Can I have some more information about this Magician card that's in reverse right here? Give me a couple clarifiers for that. There's one and one more. All right, you have the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Swords under the Magician card. And that Magician card is a very powerful card, and we'll get into that. It's a Major Arcana card, first one of the Major Arcana. Four of Cups. Give me some information on that, please. Okay, it's not sure yet. Couple cards, please. My nose is itching. I have a Persian cat, and so that's all I have to say. Why my nose is itching. It's fur everywhere. I'm not sure if one flipped there. I don't think it did. Just hoping for a card, but it's being a bit stubborn. There we go. One. And one more. There, that flipped. Okay, so you have the Six of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And the Three of Cups. Sideways position. Okay, so you have the Justice card in reverse and the Temperance. So you end with two Major Arcana cards. Powerful cards for you right here. All right, so what are you being asked to release that's no longer serving you, Aquarius? You start off with the Magician. And the Magician card's in reverse. And I think the Magician, I always think of this card, you know, he's the master manifester. He can do anything he wants. He has everything at his disposal. You have to be very careful, though, when you're manifesting anything. I mean, we can manifest anything we want, but oftentimes we have to be oftentimes we can manifest something that might not necessarily be what we truly need and what our higher self has wanted for us to bring in, because we need to be grounded. And so, you know, this is upside down. So it could mean that maybe, you know, you're not grounded and you need to get grounded, and you need to make sure you're grounded, especially for these next few weeks that are coming in. Really make sure you're taking the time out, carving time for yourself, and getting still, and getting back into your body. You know, we often spin in our head and keep ourselves busy and be very distracted, but it's time now there's something here that you're ready to manifest. And when I say that, I also say that when this card comes out, it's a card that says, Aquarius, you have everything at your disposal. You have everything in you that you need to carry this out, to take your life into, to now show the world who you really are. You have everything in you. And it's in reverse, because there's still some maybe resistance on your part. There might still be some fear there that's like, I don't think I do. I don't think I can do this. So that's why there's still something here that maybe you need to release some fear. Maybe you need to release, these doubts that you can do this. And then you get the Queen of Pentacles underneath it, which, it's a lot of what I've been saying, because the pentacle, first of all, is our body. It's the grounding element. And the Queen is the feminine side to us. And the feminine is all about living from our body, being grounded. And so you're being asked here to, in order to manifest this, you need to be, like I said, very, very grounded. Take on the Queen of Pentacles, the quality of her who lives from her body, who's not afraid to get in her body, and so that she knows that when she manifests something, this is the right decision. It'll be an intuitive decision, and intuition is a feminine quality. And then you have the Page of Swords that sits right behind it. And the page in my deck is this inner child. And so there's an inner child that's coming out here. And so when an inner child shows up, and we can have more than one inner child. I've been on this journey, this healing journey intensively for 8.5 years, and I know that I have more than one inner child. Mainstream psychology likes to say we just have one, but we have more than one. This one is the one that holds the sword. It's the sword of your truth, Aquarius. It's the sword of your authenticity, and you are being asked to take that sword. It's time to take up that sword. And I always say it's the sword that cuts through all the bullshit as well. It's like these messages that you're still hearing, like, who do you think you are? You can't do this. And those are the ones that are going to stop you right in your tracks and continue to stop you. So I think it's time now that you really take a look at, what are these last lingering doubts and belief systems that are preventing you from picking up your sword of authenticity. When you were younger, you were about 4, 5, 6 years old, you knew who you were. You knew who your true self was. You knew what you came here to do. And so when this page comes up, they need healing. There's still a part of you that needs, a small part of you, an inner child that needs healing. It has to do with your authenticity and who you are. So we're going to find out when we go into your shadow. We're going to find out, I'm sure, what is it? There's something still here that you need to heal, that in relation to who you are, what you came here to do, before you can fully step out and claim your authentic self. And so let's take a look at your shadow, because this is what comes from your childhood, your adolescence. And this is what's coming up from healing. There's still something that you need to heal. And so you have the Four of Cups. That's sitting here as your first card. And that's your main card. And so this cup speaks about this individual that has these 3 cups right here, right? And there's this other one that's being offered in the corner. It's like this sword over here, but this time it's this cup. It's this cup that's being offered to you from the universe and says, will you take this 4th cup right here? But as a child, you learned at a very young age that your emotions, because cups are all about emotions, were a dangerous thing. And so you really shut down your emotions and would not be willing to take that cup again. And so I'm seeing here that as a child, you were quickly shut down when it came to your emotions. So there's something here. There's more emotions that want to come up for you. It could be the fear. It could be the doubt. Sometimes there's some shame. But if I look at what these emotions could be, I see what it could be with the 6 of Wands. It's telling me here what it is. And so let's look at the next card, which is the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knights in my deck are what are called freedom fighters. They're a teenage part of you. This is the part that he's the pentacle. Again, he's the grounding element. He has the pentacle. It's the one about being in your body. And I think when you were a teenager, you also learned that it wasn't safe to be in your body. Even when you were a teenager, there was a big part of you that wanted to be free of maybe oppressive people when you were younger. And you wanted to pull away. You wanted to, I call them freedom fighters because there's the part of us that want to run. Maybe you are one of those people that wanted to run from the situation that you were in when you were younger. And there, because it's in reverse, I can see here that, there might be some anger that wants to come out, some hopelessness maybe. And I'm going to say anger only because of the next emotion that's coming up behind it. And so I see here that you might have had difficulty. Here's this 4th cup I said that you don't want to take. It's the one that it's the cup of anger. There's some anger here that needs to come out. And I don't mean in an ungrounded way. I don't mean getting angry at somebody. Well, you can get angry at somebody, but I want you to do it in a grounded way. And so there's a real call for you to get back into your body for sure and to get in touch with this anger that you would have felt when you were a teenager maybe. There was something that you wanted to do when you were younger as a teenager. And you weren't allowed to do it. And so I think there's some real anger. And what I do is I get on my computer and I pound on those keys and I get angry. Anger is not an emotion that I was allowed to use at all when I was younger. I was told, warned, threatened not to ever take it out. And so what happens is when we do get angry at these people in a grounded way, when you literally say, I'm going to sit down at my computer or with a piece of paper and a pen, and I'm going to write a letter to these people to tell them how angry I am. And then when that comes out, when you've done that, the emotion that's sitting behind the anger, because anger is a secondary emotion, it blocks the big emotion that's sitting back here, that the one that you need to get to. And this is the 6 of Wands, and for me, the 6 of Wands, this is a victory card, but I look at my 6s as having a duality to them. And so this particular card has this sign of victory, and this individual has the victory wreath coming back from a battle that they've won. But the opposite of that is the grief, what's been lost here. And so there was something that was lost. Maybe you lost your adolescence. Maybe you didn't get to experience your adolescence. And there's some real grief. There's some real anger and grief that are left that you need to express, and that's what's coming up from your shadow, and that's what needs to be released before you can step out in your power. Take your power back. And then what guidance does the tarot have for you? Well, you have the Three of Cups here, and it was sideways. Three of Cups, again, here's your emotions, right? But it's kind of interesting that they came out here when you see these Three of Cups that you've kind of put down, and you've decided that you were done healing. You were done feeling when you were younger, I should say. You were done feeling emotions. Well, the universe is saying, well, let's take these Three of Cups now, and we're going to turn it into a little celebration here, right? This is really a celebration of your feminine side, your feminine energy. There's a real feminine side that wants to come out here, and it's going to be the emotions, right? There's this grief that wants to come out, and this anger that wants to come out. Those are emotions, and that's our feminine side. And so the universe wants you to take those Three Cups, those emotions that you buried when you were younger, like grief and shame, grief and anger that you weren't allowed to have when you were younger, because also you were very young at the time as well, and you wouldn't have been able to feel these emotions, but you would have still felt them. But you wouldn't have been able to feel them totally. And so what happens is our inner children are the ones that will hold them for us. And that's why you still have this inner child that needs healing right here. Because when you get back to your anger and you get back to your grief, your true authentic self is going to come out, and you're going to be able to claim your power. So you have to get into the universe really wants you to get in touch with your feminine energy. Get in touch with these emotions, because there's some justice here. There's something that you need to get to. Justice talks about making things right. And it's in reverse here, because there's still something. You see how they have a blindfold on? There's something still that maybe you don't see. But there's something that you need to get to. And you're going to bring justice to this. You're going to find the truth of it. And it's interesting that you started out with this page that holds your truth. And now this justice is going to bring you, feeling these emotions, it's going to bring you your truth that you need. And finally you get the Temperance card. And the Temperance card speaks to about this middle ground, right? This balancing part. And it speaks about, Temperance card talks about feeling our emotions just a little bit at a time. Sometimes, these emotions that you're being asked to feel, they can be a lot. Especially the grief. But, with the grief, it says just a little bit at a time. I know when I started to really get in touch with my own anger and then get in touch with this grief, sometimes it feels like this big wall that you have to climb over to get there. I was told to just turn the faucet on a little bit and then turn it off when it gets too much. Because oftentimes we open up that Pandora's box and we just close it because it's too much. And this is what the Temperance is coming out and saying, you know what? This is a process. This is a journey. And we do it a little bit at a time. You're asked to just do it, if you can just do it a little bit at a time. Because eventually you'll get to all that grief that needs to come out, so that you can take this next step, so that you can show the world who you are. You can claim your power once again. And this is a powerful reading for you, Aquarius. But you also have some big emotions that you need to feel before you can claim this power of yours. And so I'm going to leave you with, I think I'm going to leave you with some videos on anger, because I think that's very important for you right now, to get in touch with your anger so that your grief will come up. And I want you to have compassion for yourself, Aquarius, for what you're working through. This is a very difficult journey, but it's the most important journey of your life, your healing journey. And so I'll talk soon. Bye-bye.